of Main Street tonight.
This is great stuff. We love this, Jeff. He put together a group of average people from different occupations to give their ideas of what's going on here. Jeff joins us live in the Sheridan Park area of Chicago. Great job. Tell us what the people think, Jeff.
It's always good, particularly in a story like this, Dave and Liz, to hear what real people think. To introduce them, Len Benefico, longtime real estate broker in Chicago. Cece Rogers, business journalism professor at Northwestern. Owen Kelleher is an IT professional. His wife, Asia, works in financial services, and as you might guess, she will have a new member of the family here coming right up. And Holly Fox is a business journalism student. You know, we're talking about Barney Frank. We were just talking about this, Cece covered the 1987 stock market crisis as well as the S&L bailout. Barney Frank just saying Congress needs to have oversight. You were saying you thought that was very important too.
I do. What they're proposing, what the Bush administration is proposing, is something that hasn't been done in this country since the time of Alexander Hamilton, basically, where Treasury would have unlimited control. Now, when I covered the S&L crisis, I have to tell you, I got tired of going up to Capitol Hill for those hearings, but they dragged up those officials, you know, with some frequency to say, what are you doing? How much money is being spent?
You think that's important. Now, let me just get a show of hands here. I'm going to back out of the way. Who likes this government bailout or who supports it? You guys are all for it, and I guess I got to ask you, Asia, you work in the financial services industry. You were telling me last week was what?
It was pretty chaotic. Our company was like, you know, business as usual, be super responsive, be supportive, and just don't panic, basically.
And was there panic?
I don't think, you know, at our level there was panic, but we were certainly worried, you know, reading Wall Street and seeing what was going on with other companies.
You tend not to be somebody who is for government intervention. I was talking with Holly earlier, talking about this debt that might be incurred. You worry about you having to pay that off. You're the youngest one sitting here, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. The decisions they make will have a big impact on my future, for sure.
Yeah. And talking about impacts, real estate, obviously. If we hadn't had this government bailout, what would have happened to this real estate market, Lenny?
Well, I think it would have continued to suffer dramatically, basically, because lenders need to get some of these other bad loans off the books so that they can start maybe normal lending procedures again. Mm-hmm. This bad debt going over will give them a chance to possibly do that. And
I want to ask Owen about that very thing. You bought a piece of property last year at about this time, and then another one this year. What were the differences?
The differences were quite huge. The first loan we got, there was no employment verification. We didn't have to have a big down payment. They didn't really check through our financials that well.
And this time?
This time was a lot different. They checked everything. Absolutely everything. And a bigger down payment as well.
It's about time. We want to come back to these folks in about an hour's time, guys, and talk to them about their own personal financial situations, what impact in the past several weeks, and what they see going forward. Always great to hear real people talk about these real issues.
Indeed it is. Jeff Flock, thank you very much, Jeff. We'll be coming back to him in the next hour. We got a lot coming up in the next hour, by the way. You don't want to miss it.
In the meantime, Jeff Flock back here in the U.S. taking the pulse of Main Street tonight.
Jeff Flock has gathered together people from different diverse communities, occupations, to get them together and see what they think of what's going on with Paulson's deal. Jeff.
We're in a backyard on the north side of Chicago, and I want to ask people, we talked to these folks last hour, their greatest fear associated with this. Holly Fox is a journalism student. That's a big fear if you got that job to start with, but what's your greatest fear about this economy?
You know, I'm worried about how long it's going to take for things to get stable, and I'm going to be looking for a job in the next 6 months and, you know, might want to buy a house.
So you think this might take a while. Asia Kelleher, her husband Owen, you've got a little one on the way. That's probably your greatest concern right now, but financially, what's your greatest concern?
How our investment in our home will do long term, you know, in the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Because you just bought a house, right, Owen? And
Yeah, we did. I think, yeah, we are concerned about that, obviously, but unlike some other people who bought speculatively, we bought with the intention of staying there for a couple of years, so I guess our worries aren't as big as other people's could be.
I hear you. Cece Rogers is a business journalism professor at Northwestern, longtime business journalist. You've had the experience of the S&L crisis, the experience of covering the crash of '87. Your biggest fear based on that experience?
Well, my biggest fear is that the bailout will need to be followed up quickly by some major fiscal stimulus. Otherwise, we might not get the hoped-for results from
So
this
you
bailout.
think this market, I mean, we're hearing Asian markets are up too. You think that may not last if you don't get more action?
I just think there's more fallout down the road. I think it's naive to think that we'll buy up all these troubled loans and then that's it. We skip on our merry way.
Interesting. Last word to Len Benefico, longtime Chicago real estate broker. Your biggest fear is probably that the doggone market won't turn around.
Well, that's true because it's going to have far-reaching effects for my children and everyone who has a real estate now. Things have to turn around, otherwise we'll be in deep trouble for a long time.
Folks, I appreciate the time on a Sunday night here after a Bears loss in Chicago, people coming out and sharing their concerns. And I'll tell you, it's interesting, my observation just in talking anecdotally here is that people don't think, oh, we're out of the woods. This is everything, all our problems are solved. I would have thought we would have had more of that. We don't have that sentiment out here. Sort of interesting.
All right. Well, you still have the Cubs, so don't cry too much. Jeff Locke, thanks very much. We got a lot of news coming up, breaking up.